Hey everybody, Jonathan, Las Vegas Collectibles. I'm almost home now, so I'm going to make this video. John Manigin put out a video earlier called "The Sports Card Market Will Rebound." It's been about 3.5 hours since I saw the video, listened to the video, I should say, on the radio. So I've had time to kind of gather my thoughts and kind of calm down. So I had an emotional reaction. I had this reaction of, what the hell? It was anger, reaction. I was sad. I was mad. I was frustrated. And I am not a person that has emotional reactions. It's very hard for me to actually get to a point in which I have a reaction. And I believe that I got to this point with this video from John Manigin because it's been building up for a long time. So I've been selling collectibles for about a year, a little bit over a year. I've been buying collectibles my whole life, type of thing, right? And so I constantly see people, hear people, and talk to people that make decisions that impact their family by purchasing items, taking the opportunity to put food in their family's mouth, type of thing. They're spending all this money on collectibles. And they're spending it with the idea, with the thesis, the premise, whatever you want to call it, that them spending money on a comic book, on a sports card, or whatever you might be, will provide them more money in the future. They don't even know how much. They might not have the financial education to really kind of put that together and make a plan. And so people in the collectible worlds, meaning comic books, coins, watches, sports cards, whatever, each individual world, there are so many people that try to take advantage of uneducated individuals. Just like in the financial world, in the car selling business, in the home selling business, there are people that unfortunately try to take advantage of me because they have more information than those that they're selling to. And so over the last year of me selling, unfortunately I've been exposed to this element in the collectible world, and it bugs me. And so seeing his video, I think, was that straw that broke the camel's back, and it just made me want to say something. So I'm gonna try to cut this off. I'm gonna be short and sweet about it. Look, John Manigin, I don't know you. I don't have anything bad to say about you, really. I don't know you. You could be an amazing human being. I mean, you seem like you're educated. You seem like you know what you're talking about to a point. So that also makes me wonder, are you doing it on purpose? What you're saying. So that's kind of sad. So I don't know if I'm the first person that's ever said this to you. Your collectible world, whatever it is, comics, coins, action figures, I don't care. It is not comparable to the stock market. The stock market and your niche, hyper-focused little collectible world are not comparable. They're not. I don't know if I'm the first person on YouTube to say that or not. I hope I'm not. But I might be the first person you've ever heard make that comment. And you need to know that just because a person, any person, puts the word market at the end of something does not mean it is automatically comparable to the stock market. They might sound fancy because they do it, but it doesn't mean they know what the hell they're talking about. I go to a farmer's market. I don't know, maybe you've been to a farmer's market. Do you think it would be a good decision, before you go to a farmer's market, to draw historical comparisons from the stock market to make decisions at a farmer's market? Maybe you do. You know, it's America. Do what you want. I don't think that's a good decision. The farmer's market is a place where you can buy and sell and trade goods. All different kind of variety of goods. It's actually more diverse than any of your collectible little markets, right? Because you might have people selling candles and coffee and handmade rugs and healing crystals, along with the fruits and veggies and hoagies or whatever else. It's actually a more diverse marketplace than any sports card market will ever be, any comic book market there'll ever be, because it's multiple products. The stock market is not one product. It is not one item, one good, one commodity, whatever you want to call it. It is a conglomerate of goods? I don't know the right terminology. But there is an extremely large amount of diverse products and goods in the stock market. So, John Manigin made a comparison to the dot-com bubble and saying he draws a lot of similarities from that time period with the current time period we're in with collectibles. And John Manigin was talking about how those similarities, lead him to believe that the sports car market will rebound just like the stock market rebounded. They are not the same thing. The dot-com crash had to deal with businesses who were garbage, had no value add to anything. They just put .com at the end of a word and then sold stocks to it, even though they had no business, even though they were just complete garbage. And guess what? Those companies went bankrupt. All those people lost those money. A lot of people made money. All you had to do was come out with a business and put .com at the end of it, and the general public would just give you money. And then the business went bankrupt. And you know what? After 20 years, the stock market rebounded after the dot-com crash. After 20 years, the stock market has grown to heights far and beyond where it was before the dot-com crash. But you know what didn't rebound? All those bankrupt dot-com companies. They're still bankrupt. They're still worth zero. So if you wanted to draw a comparison between the sports card market and the dot-com era stock market, first of all, you can't do it. They're not comparable. I hope I'm not the first person that's ever said that. But they're not. Now, if you wanted to compare the sports card market, which is really just a market that people use that term when they're really just talking about the value of sports cards. That's all that phrase means. It's the value of sports cards, sealed wax, graded cards. It's the value of sports cards, a singular sector of items. I don't know why he wanted to compare it to the stock market other than to give this false illusion of credibility or justifying his thesis that the sports card market will rebound. If he wanted to draw a comparison to that time era, I think he chose a great example, the dot-com bubble. The dot-com bubble, that individual market sector of the dot-com companies collapsed because everybody was putting money into things that had no value, and they were putting the money in there just because it said .com. That's very comparable to people in the sports card market putting tons of money into sports cards because it's a zebra parallel, because it's a leopard skin, because it's a refractor, because it's this, because it's that. They have no added value. There's a million fucking rookie cards from the last 2 years. Sorry for my language. It doesn't make any sense. But the .com comparison to the sports card market, I think, was actually a really good choice. He just unfortunately alluded to the stock market the whole time, which is not comparable. The .com companies that failed, that went bankrupt, this is 20 years later, they're still bankrupt. And guess what? 20 years from now, the cards that go to zero in the sports card market are still going to be at zero. So that comparison, I think, is pretty good. There are some .com companies that survived, that thrived, that did amazing, that are worth tons of money now, way more than they ever were. And you know what? There's going to be some sports cards that in 20 years are going to be worth more money than they ever have been. they're not only going to rebound, they're going to grow, become even more valuable, just like with the .com businesses. But the comparison of the sports card market to the stock market is just horrible, and providing people with false expectations and just false hope. And it's unfortunate because I believe the uneducated or the people lacking additional perspectives and information will unfortunately listen to that and continue this rhetoric of my sports card market is comparable to the stock market. The stock market is comparable to my coin collecting market. They're not comparable. They're not comparable. Take care. That was a little bit more of a rant than I expected. Been parked in my driveway now for too damn long. Take care, everybody.